Raven, a story about true happiness and self-acceptance. Once upon a time, in a vast and peaceful forest, there lived a raven. His feathers shimmered in the sun, but they were as dark as night. And because of this, many people avoided him. Unlike the brightly colored parrots or the melodious nightingales, the raven was often met with fear, disdain, or complete indifference. Wherever he went, people shooed him away. He had no one to talk to, no one to love him, and often struggled to find food. Day after day, he watched the world around him, how people admired the peacock's beauty, how they were enchanted by the canary's song. The raven began to believe he was cursed, doomed to a life of sorrow and solitude. One morning, unable to bear his pain any longer, the raven perched on a tree branch and began to weep. His heart was heavy with despair. "Why was I born this way?" he cried. "Why does no one care for me? Why is life so unfair?" Down below, resting beneath the shade of the very tree he sat on, was a monk deep in meditation. He had been sitting still for hours, completely immersed in the silence of nature, when suddenly, plop, a single teardrop fell on his cheek. Gently, he opened his eyes and looked up. Seeing the raven crying, the monk smiled softly. "My friend," he said with compassion, "why are you so sad?" The raven looked down, surprised that someone had addressed him with such kindness. With a trembling voice, he replied, "I am tired of being me. No one likes me. People chase me away. They call me ugly. They say I bring bad luck. I have no friends, no family, no one to care for me. Sometimes I think perhaps it would be better not to live at all." The monk's eyes softened with empathy. He stood up, held out his hand, and said, "Come, let's take a walk together." Though hesitant, the raven agreed, and together they journeyed through the forest. Along the way, the monk began to point at other creatures. "Look there," he said, pointing to a beautiful parrot in a golden cage outside a rich man's house. That parrot is admired for its colors, but is trapped behind bars, unable to fly freely. Next, they came upon a majestic peacock resting in a garden. People gathered around, taking photos, clapping with admiration. "But look closer," the monk whispered. "The peacock's feathers are heavy. He cannot fly far. His beauty has become his burden." Then, they saw a nightingale perched near a noisy marketplace. Though its song was lovely, no one paid attention. The world was too loud to hear its voice. Finally, they came across a group of crows laughing and playing around the riverbank. "They may not be praised by humans," said the monk, "but they are free. They live without seeking approval." The raven was silent. For the first time, he began to realize that everyone has struggles, no matter how beautiful or gifted they appear on the outside. The monk turned to him and said, "You see, dear raven, each creature has its own fate, its own challenges. True happiness comes not from being admired, but from accepting who you are, from discovering your unique role in this world." He paused, placing a gentle hand on the raven's wing. "You are not cursed. You are simply looking at the world through the wrong eyes." The raven, moved to tears once again, but this time not from sadness, nodded slowly. For the first time in his life, he felt seen. He felt understood. From that day on, the raven no longer wished to be someone else. He flew through the skies with grace and freedom, embracing his own identity. He learned to find joy in the little things: the wind beneath his wings, the quiet rustle of leaves, the beauty of the sunset reflected in a lake. And though the world didn't suddenly fall in love with him, he had fallen in love with life.